What's up, everybody? Welcome to another movie review for Black Music Month of June. And tonight we are going to start with the all-time classic biopic, a movie that is near and dear to our childhoods. I know mine specifically, the Jackson American Dream. Now, once again, for those that didn't catch the Gorehound show earlier tonight, me and Quez, we're going to do this tomorrow night. But because of my work, I would not be able to do it. So this will be the only time I would be able to fit it in before Sunday. And we will announce Sunday's movie later in the show. But yeah, man, the Jackson American Dream. This is a movie that is near and dear to my heart. Now, peel the curtain back. But my mom, my family, huge Jackson fans. Huge Jackson fans. My mom went to saw the Jackson 5 in their prime, went to go see the Victory Tour, all that stuff. It was Jackson, 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 all everywhere I went. Hence why I'm such a big Jackson fan, and why I love me some Janet. And by the way, Quez, are you still planning on going to see Janet's concert? Oh shit, he was just in here. I gotta get him back in. Quez, you plan on going to see Janet in concert still?
That already happened.
And, oh, real quick, how was it?
I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go?
Nah, I couldn't make it, bro. I couldn't fit into my schedule with work.
God damn. Oh, hey. Sounds like you missed a hell of a show. Janet has been killing it out here, selling out stadiums left and right, bro. It's been crazy.
Still,
she's getting having a little resurgence right now. It's cool to see. But the Jackson American Dream, a movie that came out in November 8th, 1992, drew in 40 million viewers overall in its first two nights. 40 million viewers tuned in to watch this movie. This movie was obviously a big deal at the time. You got this biopic of probably the biggest family of music in the Jackson family, where you have starring a young Angela Bassett. This is Angela Bassett before What's Love Got to Do with It. I believe this is right after Boys in the Hood. So this is a beginning Angela Bassett as Katherine Jackson, which, by the way, Michael Jackson specifically picked Angela Bassett to play his mom. He quoted by saying he wanted someone pretty to play his mom, and he handpicked Angela Bassett. So word to Michael Jackson on that. Then you got Lauren Hilton.
I think Quincy Jones had influence in that too. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Quincy Jones has something to do with that too. But to Michael Jackson, biggest star in the world, whatever he says goes, pretty much. Then you got Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, who plays Joe Jackson from Cochise from Cooley High. Welcome Back, Kotter, a TV show. He plays patriarch of the family, the infamous Joseph Walter Jackson. And basically what the movie is about is the rise of the Jackson family as a whole, as we start from Joe and Katherine when they were young lovers, going into their relationship and into their marriage, raising a family. And basically it's a two-part series, where the first part of the series is Joe and Katherine meeting, raising the family, the grind and the hustle that the Jackson family had to go through to get them where they were. And the second half of the series is basically them dealing with this newfound fame, the kids growing up, tension between them and Joe, Michael dealing with him becoming not becoming a little boy anymore, him dealing with the fame. This movie really covers a good amount of the Jackson family um, as a whole. And when I was younger, I remember when VH1 played this movie a lot. A lot. I remember when I was younger, I remember specifically it was called Movies That Rock. Movies That Rock by VH1. You remember those, Quez?
Yep.
Yeah, Movies That Rock. And every single time when I was younger, I saw the Movies That Rock intro. It will always play the Jackson story every single time. And you know what I did? I would watch it every single time.
For 5.5 hours.
But bro, those 5 hours flew by. Because it's such a good, entertaining story. Those 5 hours just flies by. And this movie, a lot, especially kids and me and Quez's age group, grew up on this film. And I will still say to this very day, and Quez, can you agree with me, that even though this movie isn't really about Michael, but this is still the best movie adaptation of Michael Jackson we've ever seen thus far. I mean, we either got this movie or this bullshit.
I mean, you could have said this is it, but you had to go there.
I had to just to remind the people where we came, how far we've fallen since the Jackson. Look at that shit. I guess that is a picture of the young Terrence Howard that Quez has on his profile. So random.
I mean, it was either that or that picture that James posted. However, you chose the dude that played at Homeboys in Outer Space to play Michael Jackson.
You deserve what 6'3".
6'3", bruh. I like we just see you on UPN on 101.
Exactly. But he's Michael Jackson. Fuck out of here. But yeah, I absolutely love this film. You can find this movie for free on YouTube. Almost like 3 hours and 55 minutes.
3:47.
3:47. Okay, so it's not terrible.
Just don't watch it on television, especially on VH1 or BET, where it has an hour and a half extra commercials.
Oh my gosh, man. But
wasting all your day watching the Jacksons movie, like no.
Hey, a lot of people did, bro. Because it's a good story, bro. It's a pretty inspirational story too.
James, they didn't even have Temptations when they put it on TV make it play this long. It was ridiculous. There was only 3 things that was on TV that was really long that I could not watch all like that. This was one of them. Sometimes Temptations and Roots.
Oh shit!
What if it BT played Roots? This was 6 hours at minimum. This is an all-day marathon, bro.
Man, I wasn't watching no Roots, bro. You fuck that.
I'm just saying, though, like, for those that don't know, this is my first time actually watching this film all the way through. Like, actually sitting down and watch it all the way through. I've seen clips here and there growing up. Like, when I was already like a teenager, and I just seen the couple clips, the switch scene, or the scene where Michael didn't want to get on the plane. It was like I caught up to the middle of it. It's just like, bro, I can't watch this until I watch it from the beginning. And I tried watching it from the beginning. with the credits and they all hold their hand like hands in and the pictures and all that. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Now got 2 minutes in and I'm like, why are you already going to commercial? And that's why I quit. I got 2, 3 minutes in. You go to a commercial break. That's how I knew it was gonna be a long Sunday. I'm like, why am I watching this? Football is on, and I changed the channel expeditiously. I'd rather watch the Lions game than watch this damn movie.
Sounds like to me, Quez, you don't like this film. That's what it sounds like, bro.
No. I don't hate it. I'm just talking about, like, when I was seeing it growing up and I would see it like come on TV and I would just think like, hey, James, you know this about me already. Like, I don't like long films. I don't. I really don't like long films. Like, I don't want to say I get like ADHD or whatever, and I just have to get up when something's too long and I gotta get up. But if it's something where it's like over 2 hours and change, like I can't watch it focused all the way through because I get bored. Like Avatar, like the not Airbender, but like the blue alien Avatar movies. I don't know if you've seen them. I can't. I've
I've
watched
seen them. I've seen them.
I watched them and everybody swear up and down this is the best film ever. Those movies are too long, and especially that newest one. It did not need to be as long as it did. Over 3 hours and 15 minutes. It's stupid. There's no excuse for a movie to be this long, and you're gonna be losing substance and content over time when you're watching it. And we're gonna talk about it with this movie or quote unquote TV series. When you watch it all the way through as a movie, and we'll get into it, it flames out towards when Michael's an adult. It starts flaming out. Honestly.
Well,
it just starts dying out by that time, along with that big time skip.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've always said that the best part of the film is the earlier parts. When you see them as young kids, you see them coming up through the ranks. That to me is my favorite part of the film. And I will say this: watching this movie again. Now, everybody knows I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, and I'm a big fan of the Jacksons. And watching this movie, I didn't really appreciate. Now, I didn't really realize how everything Michael and the Jackson got, they earned. Because you see them in this film, and you literally see them going from talent show to talent show, driving to Chicago or driving to they were performing in strip clubs, and they were literally going anywhere and anywhere they could to get booked. And they were living in a 2-car garage house with, and they were broke. Like they were broke. People look at Michael Jackson and think of how flashy he is. Although no, Michael was broke. Dead broke at one point. And these guys
sleeping head to toe every night.
Exactly. And this I never really fully paid attention until I recently watched this latest rewatch about how Michael and his brothers literally had to grind to get and hustle to get to where they are now. And it's so crazy when you think about it now, Quez, because nowadays, all a kid would have to do is just turn on their phone, record, sing a cappella, post on the internet, and hopefully the right type of eyes watch it. Boom, they can get signed just like that. Look what happened to Justin Bieber. Like all his YouTube videos, all he did was just singing, and then boom, Usher just found him. Like Michael and his brothers really had to climb through the ranks to get to where they are, and I'm pretty sure it makes me kind of appreciate the Jackson family anymore because they weren't given. They earned that shit. And I didn't really realize that until I knew it, but I never really fully like damn, it really was the American dream watching this film. Can you agree with that, Quez? Quez, you there? Oh shit! Hang on. Quez, you good?
I hate
Oh shit!
StreamYard. If you know about that reference.
Yes, yes, indeed. Please tell me you heard everything I just said.
No.
God
Last
damn.
thing I heard was you talking about Jackson's earning everything they did, traveling from show to show.
Yeah, travel show to show, and it's not like how nowadays where a singer or up and coming singer could go on the internet, press record on their phone, sing a cappella, post it on YouTube, and hopefully the right set of eyes sees it, and they'd be like, "Ooh, I want to sign that person." I mean, that happened with Justin Bieber, right? He sang on YouTube, and that's how Usher found him. So, I watched this movie again. I never really fully appreciated how, like Michael and the Jacksons, they had to hustle and grind to get to where they were. And I can say this movie, the story does live up to their title. It was the American dream. Like this shit wasn't given to them; they earned it.
That and then some.
Absolutely. But yeah. So the movie, like the movie, it's almost kind of like three movies in one because you kind of got the love story with Joe and Angela Bassett. And I gotta say this too: Angela Bassett is a vampire. Okay, but Angela Bassett was in her 30s when she did this film. But Angela Bassett can still play Katherine Jackson today. If they remake this movie, she can play Katherine Jackson today, bro. Like it's crazy how it's crazy how she still looks the same as she did 30 years ago. And look at Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, he was Coach East in Cooley High 20 years ago before this, and he still looked the same. And I really liked their relationship of Joe and Katherine. I love how they took the time to establish their relationship. Where we meet Katherine. Katherine was like, the shy girl next door, had polio in her leg. She didn't really, I wouldn't say she was socially awkward, but you could tell she's not really used, not really used to guys like wanting her. Then you got Joe Jackson, who, well, it kind of was a smooth motherfucker, bro. Like he's walking into the dance, all the women love him. And he went to Katherine immediately. He was saying some smooth shit. He's like, hey, you want to dance? He's like, I can't dance to fast music. And she put his hands like, then we'll dance slow. And now I'm like, oh, okay. I see where Michael and niggas get it from. They got it from Papa Joe. Okay.
That's where Terrence Howard got it from too.
Oh shit.
You can't tell me there were correlations between Joe Jackson and Terrence Howard. You can't tell me there isn't.
Oh God, man. But yeah, like you get the love story with Joe and Katherine. I thought Lawrence Hill Jacobs and Angela Bassett, I thought they had really good chemistry. I thought they bounced off each other really well. Like you felt the vibe between them when they're going on dates and all that stuff. And I really enjoyed their relationship. I could watch a movie with their relationship by itself. Like that's how good they were together in their roles as Joe and Katherine. Like I bought their relationship, and you got this idea that like pretty much Joe was already a musician and was a boxer as well. And they said he was actually a pretty damn good one too, and he had these dreams to move to California and all these things. Like he was already thinking ahead, had dreams when he got with Katie. Then of course, hey, it was the 40s, They were fucking at the time, all the time back then. And she gets pregnant too. I want to say the oldest. The oldest is I want to say the oldest is Reby. I want to say, and credit to Joe. This is where I say that this is where me and Quez gonna have that discussion about this show. All we've heard throughout our lives, especially me and Quez's life, because of Jackson, when we were kids, Jackson was still pretty relevant. All we heard was just these monster stories about how evil Joe Jackson was. He was basically an abuser, all that stuff. He was evil and all that stuff.
And how fertile Katherine was.
Well, hey, Katherine acted shy, but she was the farthest thing from shy. I mean, like they got all them kids for a reason. I'm just saying.
No, they got all them kids. You heard what Joe said. Now, I don't believe no birth control, baby.
He pull out. He said, "What pull out game? What's that?" I was like, Joe Jackson was. I said he would have been one of them old niggas, that still walk around raw dogging these girls today. In his 60s and 70s and shit.
I mean, there wasn't no phenom at that time, so.
Yeah, there were no phenom. I don't think even condoms was a thing back then.
What was this, the 1940s?
Yeah.
Early stage of developments, condoms were like an experimental, like contraception, like around that time, although they weren't popular, of course, because that was, again, like I said, in the 40s. Joe was right, like, I don't believe in no birth control. Like at that time, you were encouraged to have sex, have babies, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and if anybody was gonna be doing birth control, like that was up to the women.
But yeah,
different times.
Yeah, different times. But yeah, but in this movie, it shows that Joe wasn't as evil as people make him out to be. One of the biggest things that show that he was not that bad. The very second Katherine even mentioned the idea of, the baby, Joe said, no, hell no, you're not doing that. And then Joe's like, all right, so you're pregnant? Look, I still want to marry you. I still want to marry you, and we're gonna make this work. We're gonna make this right. And then I'm like, okay, Joe, a solid nigga for that, because most dudes would just bounced because Katherine didn't want to tell Joe because Joe had his dreams. But but Joe's like, all right, so you're pregnant? All right, cool. We'll work it out. So that was step number one. I'm like, okay, Joe's a solid dude. Like he is solid. Like he took care of responsibility as a motherfucking man. And he's like, all right, cool. But yeah, but I thought the love story between Joe and Katherine was definitely one of the stronger points in the film, and the chemistry between Lawrence Jacobs and Eva Bassett was really good. Like I said, that could have been a movie in itself, and I would have been interested in watching. What did you think, Quez?
I agree with your sentiment on the relationship connection between Lawrence and Angela, how they played off each other so well throughout the duration of the film. Like them going all the way back and playing Joe and Katherine as teenagers and building their connection with that, and then lead up all the way till they're in their adulthood and late adulthood, so to speak, and how they were still able to give that ebb and flow of like natural, how Joe and Katherine were to be interacting with each other then during the course of events that happened later on. They channeled their characters very, very well. So I give credit to both of them for their performance with that. The love connection, well, I'll just say their relationship. And there was love thrown in there too. But I feel like that, I also agree with James, that was also a big component of this film because it really determined, the engagement with the children whether they were on the same page and whatever they weren't on the same page, you could tell how it would bring some dysfunction to the family and to the group, depending on how they were moving at the time. But the goal was still the same. What Joe made it to, no matter what I have going on or what your mother has going on, you guys still got an obligation to do as performers. Whatever business or whatever they had going on, Joe made it known that would not deter them from whatever they got going on as far as like them being a Jackson 5 group. So, yeah, a lot of their love and their relationship throughout the course of this film definitely helped carry the story of the Jacksons. And it was appropriate that it did because it gives like more of a realistic setting to what everybody's character was and what was going on.
Agreed. Agreed. And I love how one of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite scenes in the film together, of them together, is them walking down the park with Jermaine singing in the background, and like I said, you just really, I just really dug, their chemistry, and like I said, if it was just about Joe and Katherine, I would be invested, and that just speaks to how great a performance those two had together, and it's definitely one of my favorite parts of the movie, and they like you said, it continues on. Also, they never lose that chemistry as the movie progresses. And how'd you feel about how Joe handled the news about Katherine being pregnant? He took it like a stand up dude. Kat thought he would be pissed about it, but he was just like, "All right, you pregnant? All right, cool. We'll just work on it." He still didn't forget that. He still didn't we're going back to California someday, but as of right now, all right, we'll work with it.
I feel like nothing can stop him nothing can stop Joe for him wanting to make it big in the industry and not having Katherine be pregnant. He wanted the baby to happen because he said, like, we can nurture the baby, we can provide for him, I can provide for you, and then I can still live my dream, which is now our dream. Because notice, he went from like my dream to our dream once Katherine got pregnant and was quick to include the baby and then subsequent babies into the plan because this is all Joe knew that he wanted. And he wasn't going to let that deter him from what he ultimately wanted. So that determination and stubbornness alone helped carry that on into the so-called support with Katherine and the subsequent family that they will later build.
Indeed. All right, so years go by. Joe is working at the steel mill, which at that time was a big job, especially at that time, to work in the steel mill. In fact, at one point, I remember, because I actually did go visit the Jackson family house, and the steel mill was literally just like a block up the street, and they said that's when Gary kind of went to shit. Once the steel mills closed down, yeah, that's when Gary really started falling apart because a lot of people lost their jobs, because they all worked at the steel mill. So Katherine and Joe, hey, they're struggling. There's no heat in the house whatsoever. They got 5 kids at this point, and Katherine and Joe, they still plan on. Joe is still determined. He hasn't lost set because he still got his band that he performs with every now and then. Gets laid off from his job every now and then. and what really is kind of crazy to me about this is I've been, like I said, I've been to the Jackson household. Okay, that house is not big. Not big at all. Like I said, it's a 2-car garage. And that many kids. Bro. Plus more kids on the way coming. Like, I lose my mind. If I was one of the kids, I would lose my damn mind. And especially, all right, now, Quez, have you ever been in a situation where you lived in a household where you had to literally wait in line and use the bathroom?
No, I did not. Thank God.
Thank
Unless if I
God.
was, unless like if I was staying over at a cousin's house, where you have like the
Mm-hmm.
rest of your cousins and then they friends over and then they parents and shit. Like unless I have that. But ordinarily coming up, no.
Thank God. Somebody will have to die. I'm sorry, but
have to like you would have to like. But you know, people that came up in them environment houses and stuff like that is always yeah. Not everybody taking showers at the same time. You got half the people that taking showers at night, half the people taking showers in the morning before school.
mm-hmm.
This week you get your clothes washed this day. Everybody, the rest of y'all get your clothes washed on this day. Later on, you know, limit on. Unfortunately, it was like limits on food. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets a couple chicken nuggets. Nobody gets a full plate. Everybody's allowed one juice per week. You know, so we
One
can make a
juice.
stretch. You get one glass of juice a week. You gotta make that stretch. Every other time you getting water. But again, in those times you gotta make a lot of stuff and supplies stretch. Foods, supplies, all that stuff, toiletries. I didn't even get started with the toilet paper because I actually knew a household that they had a big family and they had a rash of toilet paper. You was allowed so many sheets of toilet paper per bathroom use.
Oh shit! But
Literally, yeah.
but Joe, like, he's been laid off from the steel mill, and it's just not it's not going right. It's not flowing right now, and rightfully so. Like, one of the best scenes in the film is at this point Michael Jackson was already born at this point. I think he was the 7th child, lucky number 7. And one of the best scenes in the film is that Joe is at, and it's funny. When I was younger, I thought Joe was just was a mean motherfucker in this scene. Now that I'm older, and you just had a long day at work, and you just want to chill, and all these damn kids screaming. Listen, I would bang my fist on the table, like, well, everybody shut the fuck up. Look, there was some low key funny scenes Joe had in this film. Like, he's irritated at Marlon, always crying like a bitch. He said, "You cry so much. Look at you." When Marlon says, like, "I can't help it," he's like, "Man, just stop it."
So rude.
But when I saw that scene, I immediately thought of Bernie Mac, and he was like, "Quit crying, do some push-ups or something." Look, oh my god, my son was always crying all the damn time. That one kind of low-key annoyed the shit out of me too. Like, stop being a bitch all the time. But
like you wanted to punch your son in your chest, bro. Like, man up, stop fucking crying.
But that was basically what Joe was like on Marlon. He was just like, stop crying all the goddamn time. But yeah, one of the best scenes in the film, and this is according to Michael. Like Michael said that this will be true. That he said Michael. Now, as usual, you know, kids have that natural fear. They fathers, right? And and every time when they would fuck up, and they had to answer to Joe, you could just see the fear. And that's just listen. Look, I remember during those days, when you were scared to fuck up, the last thing, all right, Quez, when you would be at home and you fucked up at home and your dad be at work whatsoever, what's the scariest words your mother could say to you?
Wait till your father get home.
Wait till your father get home, bro. Those would be the most scary. That'd be the most scariest that you could ever hear, bro. So,
Especially if you came up where like your mom handled most of the stuff, and you had that fear of your mama. But
mhm,
anytime when dad had to get involved, that was last resort. That
exactly.
because you knew you was messing up with mom so much that she had to call it reinforcements. That's when
Oh,
you know. That's when you knew.
and what would be so scary, bro? Bro, that weight, bro. When your father, when you know that time when your father gets off from work, bro, you have to wait for that ass whooping. That's even worse than the ass whooping itself. Like, I'll never forget. Like, there was a time where I fucked up at home at the house, right? And then my dad would be at work, and my mom would be so mad. I don't think my mom would really whoop me like that. She was waiting on my dad to do it, and like, and and she would call my dad while he's at work and tell him what I did, and and I just knew, man, bro. I did so. I remember. I, what would you do when you was a kid, bro? You would try to be the most goodest boy you could possibly be. Like do the dishes, take the trash out.
Be polite. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So hopefully it can soften the ass whooping. And then, oh, bro, when that car pulled up, bro, and that door opened, you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
And your heart just sink.
right. So when I see that scene, when you see the scene when Joe's asking him, like, whose shoe is that on the ground? And you just see Jermaine is going full panic mode. He's like, it's not mine. I swear to God, Jesus.
Straight snitch. Straight up snitched.
No, it wasn't Jermaine. It was Tito that snitched. He's like, it's Michael's.
Yeah, Tito snitched. Straight.
Tito snitched. And I love how Michael looked at him. Like, Michael looked at him like, the fuck? And then, and this according to Michael's words, like Michael did say that he would be the one person that will stand up to Joe. He threw the shoe at Joe, and and I think Michael said that he would get whoopings, but he really didn't get whoopings like that because one, Joe couldn't catch him because Michael was fast, like he could not catch him. Um,
He called him a jackrabbit.
yeah, he called him a jackrabbit. Exactly. But that was like a really interesting scene because you would think Michael Jackson, it's Michael Jackson. You wouldn't think he would be the more feisty one out the group, but he was the one person that actually stood up to Joe. How would you feel about that scene when, like, damn, Michael was like that?
Like for real. Like I didn't expect that either, but then I was thinking like, okay, did this really happen? Or is it because it's Michael? This is why Michael didn't get whooped like that. Like like poor Marlon, you know, he or Tito, he didn't get the beats because it was Michael. But I guess it makes sense. Correlation with that.
Joe Loki couldn't stand Marlon, bro.
But I will say this though, going backwards to the point too, which you mentioned about hey, when dad didn't play games, did you ever have to deal with, if you messed up in school? and then they call home, and then you didn't expect your dad to answer because your dad would
Oh,
be at work.
man.
Oh no, bro. When they call and then your dad answers, and it's like, huh? Because usually it's mom. It's like, nope, it's dad. And all he said was, wait till you get home. Bro, when I tell you I took the long way home, that is one of the longest walks I ever took. It,
PTSD. Sorry. This conversation
it'll
is
make
bringing up PTSD, bro.
it'll make you do some crazy things. And the worst thing is you can't keep them waiting, which you learn the hard way when they roll around the street and they find you walking a whole nother way home. It was all bad, and it was all bad from there. But to that point, yeah, pops didn't play, but they beat you with love allegedly.
Whose shoe is that? This nigga Jermaine's like, I swear to God, Jesus, it wasn't mine. Like, right?
Because
It was
he
in
knew what
panic
it
mode
was.
immediately.
He knew what it was. And by the way, shout out to everybody that's watching right now, bro. Shout out to EJ for dropping comments. Emotional Zombie. Appreciate y'all tuning in and watching. Yeah, bro. Expeditiously. Emotional Zombie said, hey guys, this movie is a classic. Joe Whoop Tito made me cry as a kid.
But that was another example. That was another example, bro. Like, don't break your father's stuff. Like, because it was already established how valuable that guitar was to Joe, and Tito would be playing it, and Catherine did warn him. She did warn him. Um, and and like I said, when he would give the kids whoopings, it wasn't like he was going out of his way, to beat the shit out of them. It's he only whooped them when they seemed to fucked up, right? Like Michael, he was gonna get at Michael because one, Michael did pick up the shoe and he was disrespecting his father. With Tito, he did it when he broke his guitar. I'm just like, it wasn't like he was just drunk off his. Look, it ain't like Joe was like a deadbeat dad that wasn't working, that was beating shit up, beat his kids up just to do it. He did it when they fucked up, and I'm like, that sounds like every father that that they had back then. Hell, even our fathers, like me and Quez. So it's like I didn't really see anything wrong. Beating all your kids. I mean, that's a little extreme, but I got it. What you think, Wes?
Um, it's gonna go with me into a point that we're gonna discuss later, but as far as like warranty of corporal punishment, um, you can see what the message was and why he was doing it, but then you also have to consider the outliers of how he was feeling as a person and why he was doing it. All this was jammed up into his frustrations of what they're not supposed to be doing, and also outliers of what he couldn't do. Mind you, he was doing all this going on because he didn't have a job. He was laid off. So he was frustrated with that, frustrated with a wife, wondering, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And you know how like when your girl or your wife or whatever is like nagging you about like, oh my God, and they get worried, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What about the kids? Stop hurting the kids. And you hear this all day, every day, you're gonna naturally get frustrated and you lash out. And who's right there to lash out? Oh, the kids. Any little thing that they do, they got told up, you know? And not saying what the discipline was, whether it was right or wrong, but the intention could have been misplaced. Because like some of those beatings weren't necessarily warranted. Like the guitar, what happened with that? That was definitely warranted.
Yes.
But we get that was definitely warranted. Like you knew better. You know better. You know better. And you got what you got. But then we're gonna discuss in a little bit with what happened in rehearsal. Yeah, that possibly could have been handled a little bit better.
Yeah, that could have been. That could have been. Yeah. And by the way, you're right. Jermaine was a snitch. Yeah. He ratted Tito out first chance he got. I'm like, man, I can see why Michael didn't want to fuck with y'all. Y'all some damn snitches.
First time he heard Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5, bet I'm gone. And Diana Ross said that, shoot, I'm going solo.
So yeah, so there's a segment where they do kind of touch on the abuse that Joe put on his kids. He whooped Tito. I'm sorry, that should have been funny. How Tito was crying. I was like, what the fuck was that? But then this is one of the first times that we see that Joe finally sees how talented these kids are, because he forces Tito to sing to do the guitar, and that's what leads Jermaine to sing, Marlon and Jackie to sing, and this is the first time we actually see them as a group sing. And of course, those little Michael wanted to sing, and he didn't want to let Michael because he was too little at the time. I think Michael at the time was like 4, 5 years old at the time. And when he sees his kids perform in front of him, the fire is reignited in Joe again, and realize that, oh shit, my kids got talent, and this, he buys a whole guitar for Tito, and then he says, oh, hey, I'm thinking about putting a group together. And then and Michael's like, hey, what about me? And Joe's kind of like, all right, boy, come on, sit down, and I believe, if I remember correctly, Jermaine was going to be the original lead singer of the Jackson Brothers. And what had happened was Michael enters the talent show where he sings Climb Every Mountain. And of course, Michael at 4 or 5 years old killed it. And what was so funny was like Joe was reacting like he was like, holy shit, I didn't know this boy could sing. And when he sees Michael singing, again, that fire Joe had in the very beginning of the film was reignited. He bought guitars, amps, drums, it's the same ambitious Joe that we saw in the very beginning of the movie. And it's a great
guitar.
Got Tito his own guitar, exactly. And one of the best scenes in the film was when Angela Bassett, Katherine, is just lashing out at Joe about how she's just freaking out at Joseph, which I thought was kind of a little bit of bad writing, because I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling Joe that the Jackson 4 just became the Jackson 5. Well, what do you think this nigga Joe's gonna do? Like, of course he's gonna jump at this, and then you're mad at him for jumping at it. But anyway,
I mean, all the money he spent. You know how she keep popping up pregnant?
Exactly. Yeah. Joe and Katherine Joe got to went to work. God damn. But it is Angela Bassett, though. I don't blame him. But and a great scene by Angela Bassett when she's freaking out about how, Jackie's shoes are worn to the soles of his feet. There's the water heater shot. Like she's basically saying, like, Joe, this is a pipe dream. Like, all these kids in this neighborhood are talented whatsoever. And Joe ain't really listening to what Katherine is saying. But at this point, Quez, I'm on Joe's side. I'm on his side at this point, where he's like, yo, like, these kids are talented. I'm not gonna let this shit go to waste. Like, I'm gonna put these to work. And then we get to that first rehearsal that we were just talking about, where Marlon sucks. Right, he's trash, right?
One way to put
And
it bluntly, he sucks.
I mean, he did. Tito snitched on him again, and and this is where we kind of see the idea of how the Jacksons were afraid to fuck up in front of Joe because they knew if they fucked up in front of Joe, it was gonna lead to an ass whooping. And that's kind of what led to the Jacksons being so good in their performances because how strict Joe ran them. Hell, that's probably what made Michael Jackson the greatest entertainer of all time because of how Joe, had him working. Now this is where I could say that Joe went too far. Oh, I get, trying to tell Marlon, like, yo, Marlon, like, you're missing the turn again. You're stepping on people's feet. I think Michael said in his documentary another reason why he didn't get whooped like that because he was the best, like he was the best guy in the group. He was out front. He was the front man. He hit all the steps right. And I think Joe was simply saying, like, God, do it like Michael doing. In the scene, he like, Michael, show him how to do it. And Michael would do it. Like Michael was a natural. And keep in mind, he was like, again, 4, 5 years old at the time. Michael was a natural at a crazy young age. But yeah, but he was on Marlon. He was on Marlon hard. So much so he was gonna cut Marlon out the group. And we get again, like I said, like the scenes between Lawrence and Angela Bassett, they're the heart of this movie for sure. The scene when they're at the farmer's market, where when she finally steps up to Joe, and said, "Yo, you're pushing, you're going too hard." And then Joe finally lashes out where he says, like, you want them running some still most of the rest of their lives? You want them slanging dope or any gangs whatsoever? He said, like, he wants his kids out of here. He wants his kids to see the world. And then Katherine had that great line where he says, like, is it their dreams or your dreams, Joe? And Joe was just kind of stuck. Like, he didn't know how to answer that.
I do.
What's that?
I do. Why you think he was going so hard? Because that was his dreams. Them was his dreams of what he wanted to do. And since he couldn't get that, and I was talking to this with James off air. Joe Jackson is literally that parent who had them hoop dreams, the football dreams as a child, thought they was gonna get recruited, go play D1 ball, go to the league, and they may have had an injury, or maybe they weren't that good enough, or they just plain sucked, and they were just a 2K Madden player that tried to play football, and then try to force their kids to do something that they couldn't do when they were younger, and then make them do it, and they live through their kids' efforts. They live through their kids' work as if it was their own. Like on hindsight 2020, Joe got that equipment for them because he believes in a kid's talent and what they can do. And I agree supporting your kids in their efforts and talents. That's what any parent should do. Because you never know where it could take them to. But also at the same time, it's like, are you doing this for them or are you doing this for you? Because they were never asked in the film if they wanted to be a group. Joe just made that decision. He made that decision like, you guys are going to be a group. You guys are going to go get your instruments. You guys are going to sing. You guys are going to make it big in Hollywood. You guys are going to be rich. You get the family out here. We could be living our dream. Like, their kids, their dream is not about Hollywood. That's your dream. And you just got anybody else along with the dream. Katherine, when you got with her, Katherine, you locked her in when she got pregnant. Katherine and the kids joining up, locking in your dream. Once you found out you have another supposed end with the kids group. This was not their dream. It was his. It just manifested and it turned into so-called theirs once they got locked in and made it their dream out of not necessity, not because they wanted to, because out of fear. Dad, I don't want to play. Dad, I don't want to be the group. and then they get beat till they in the group. Remember when Jermaine tried to quit? Remember when Michael tried to quit? Bro, people tried to quit and they couldn't quit.
Oh, you're talking about the scene when he juked the shit out of Joe.
Dude, Michael
he juked, bro. I don't know what was better, Miz juking Dean Ambrose or Michael Joe, but he juked the shit out of him, bro. Joe slipped and failed everything.
Bro, the Miz one was better because that was so unexpected. Like this man Miz was watching Cleveland Brown highlight tapes of Josh Cribbs and shit. Like, where did Miz have that in him? Hold on. Was Miz that secretly athletic or John Moxley Ambrose just that uncoordinated? Like, my God. Now I gotta watch it when we get done with this video. I'm kind of fired to that watch. But
no,
being,
that scene was crazy though, bro, because like he pushed Joe to the side of the fucking house. And then, he's like, boy, you crazy. And then Michael hit him with that boop. Like he put that double hezzy went the other way, bro. Like
the only time Joe got the one up on Michael is when he had to carry him on the plane. And even that was a struggle in itself.
That was a struggle, bro. That was he won up everybody except Michael, bro. Like that might be a little bit of Michael of no, hey, make me look strong in this, but
hey, shout to Oblivion. He tapped into the show. What up, Oblivion? He said Joe a villain for real.
Wait, Defoe says Miz was the captain of a high school basketball team.
Shout out to Defoe tapping in with us. What up, though? He played basketball. Does that mean he could beat? Does that mean he could beat? I gotta see Miz and MG play 1-on-1 now. I have to see it.
Oh gosh, man.
Bro,
yeah, but how did you feel about the scene, the rehearsal scene when he was whooping the shit out of Marlon? And it was crazy in a weird way. It made Marlon better. Like that's the weird thing. Like Joe's methods, as extreme as it was, it made Marlon better. Like it made Marlon the second best dancer in the group.
It made him better. Yeah, but it didn't make him better out of want to improve in skill. It made him better so he didn't get a beating again. If we go keep it all the way a stack, like they're not learning out of discipline. They're not learning just to understand the craft and the skill that it takes to be a good dancer and a singer. They're literally doing this for 95% of the time to not get beat. Because every time he'd be like, oh, if you don't do this, Joe gonna do. Which, wait a minute, what do they call him? Because none of them call him Dad at all. Like what was his name? Whole name?
Joseph.
They wouldn't call him Joseph. They were like, oh, Joseph's not gonna like that. Joseph's gonna whoop us. Joseph's gonna do this, that. Like this nigga Joseph was the devil, bruh.
Yeah, they called him Joseph, and they called Katherine mother.
It's like Joseph's gonna be this and that. Like he was that presence of fear. He's not a teacher. He was not the choreographer. He was not acting just as their manager. Barely acting as like a father. It's just do this, get this right, or go get the switch, and you'll be beat until you do it right. That's not constructive learning. That is basically fear being indoctrinated into somebody, only for them to actually get the dance move right. And I feel like he was doing this because, for one, he said, my daddy beat me, and I'm going to do the same to my kids. That's for one, because you're doing what happened to you as a kid, and then that's the only way you know how to discipline kids, because that's what your father did to you. That's what you're going to do to your kids. You don't necessarily have to indoctrinate that. Not saying you don't, but you don't. That's not saying you should or you shouldn't. You don't necessarily have to do that just because your father did something. Because we could play the what if game all day in regards to what your father did was you do too. Because that's one. And other two, like I said, if you're teaching them a skill to learn something, and if they mess up, you're going to make mistakes. Adjusting and adapting to those mistakes to learn to make them better, that's the true craft. That's the true learning in that. You don't beat them until they learn how to do a good spin with a mic flip. You don't need to do that because they're not doing it out of like adapting and learning and adjusting to that. They're barely getting it done and doing it right just so they don't get beat again. Because you can do it now, but how you gonna explain to anybody else how to do it? You can't. You can only do that when you're under the fear of your dad. That's that adrenaline rush right there. I mean, was it funny? Yeah, sure, it was. It was funny. I'm surprised he didn't make him go out and get two switches and he braid them and then whoop him. What y'all know about two braided
I
switch?
like, I've never gotten that much trouble where I had to get a switch. I cannot imagine. That is mental torture. If that's not mental torture, I don't know what is. To go get the weapon that's going to destroy you, and you had to, oh God, we had to take the leaves. Oh God, bro, that is terrifying.
I mean, it happened to me, and I had to do that. And then don't get the wrong switch because that make you go back and pick another one, and you bring in a new switch that actually is a switch, not like a little twig. And then your people will send you back outside and bring back the other switch you try to bring both switches in, braid them, and then get beat with a combo switch. My God, that stung.
Oh shit. So,
But again,
and real quickly, how did you feel about the performances of the kids so far? Michael, Bumper Robinson as Jackie, Jermaine's son. I thought they were great. Like I bought them as brothers. I believe they were brothers.
Overall, they performed well at their roles, whether they were playing instruments, background vocals, or Michael singing. They did the thing, and it was believable in a sense. So no complaints here.
Absolutely. So then now you got the Jacksons, performing at the talent show after talent show after talent show, like winning second place, and I ain't hold you up, because I would have got that color TV. I don't give a fuck.
No, bro, you don't get color TVs in second place. And then you got out to the house, you see Michael was salty as hell. He didn't get the color TV.
So they're performing talent show, performing in malls. Again, the grind is starting to work. Like they're grinding, they're hustling, getting their names out there. And Quez, boys to men being haters is the funniest fucking thing in the world to me.
It is believable.
But I'm just saying, this is 1992. I believe around that time Motown Philly had dropped. So Boys to Men was already out there. And to see them, arguably the greatest singing group of all time, hating on the Jacksons was just fucking hilarious to me. But that's how it was back then. Let's not forget, the Jacksons, they had haters in their way. Like I believe Michael said, when they would be rehearsals, all the neighborhood kids come through their windows y'all ain't gonna be shit and all that stuff. Like haters was around back then too. Jackie's baseball team, teammate hating, all that stuff. Hey man, this is good to, stay on your purpose. Stay on your purpose, man. When people tell you ain't gonna be shit, hey, just stay on and stay consistent. Because obviously they're making noise. I mean, they had little groupies when they were performing in the mall. Funny. Yo, Joe has a funny scene. Like, who's gonna pay 25 cents for a picture? Probably some fool.
Man, they had Polaroids put it up. They knew what they was doing.
But yeah, like they're performing but they're performing in strip clubs, bro. That was a wild ass scene. That was wild, bro.
You want to call boys to men hating this man? Michael was hating, bro. We gotta go.
Well, Michael was still a baby at that point. Come on, man.
Bull crap, bro. The way he was looking at Diana Ross, man, he knew what was up.
No, okay, all right. Michael was 11 at the time. This is Michael. He was like at least 5, 6 years old, bro.
Bro, he was a little older than that.
And the stripper was throwing her lingerie at Mike too. That shit was wild. Oh damn! Even at 6 years old, Mike was still getting bitches. Nice.
Bro, take that girl to jail.
Yeah, take her to jail. Like she's like, "Hey, cutie," kissed him on his cheek, and threw the panties at him. I was like, "Yo, god damn!" But this was them. Yeah, but this was them on their grind, bro. Like they were out there, bro.
Let that be a dude. He be under the jail.
Oh god damn. Yeah, but this is definitely one of my favorite parts. It's definitely
Joe let him live that long to get there.
But this is definitely one of my favorite parts of the film. Like seeing them, like in wrestling, we call it like they're literally going through the indie scene, literally going through the underground right now. Performing talent shows, malls, strip clubs, anywhere, bars, anywhere they can to get booked, get reps in, get their names out there. This is definitely one of my favorite parts. It just goes to show how to get to success, you have to work at it. And then it got to a point where we get we get back to now the Jacksons are getting a little older. Now they've been at this for a while. We get to see young Jason Weaver. By the way, salute to Jason Weaver, man. Great performance as Adolescent. Michael Jackson, legendary performance. How did you feel about Jason Weaver and his performance as Adolescent Michael?
I was just thinking about how Jason Weaver was getting them checks in the 90s. God.
Oh, bro. But he's still living off the Lion King checks.
Shout out to his mother for hooking that up in that clause of this contract. Shout out to her, man. And shout out to Jason Weaver, or Jay Weave, if you knew his singer alias from back in the day. But him as a performance as young Michael, I would always hear him about being Michael Jackson, but I never knew, like, okay, what was he Michael Jackson and what is he talking about? Okay, now I seen it was from this movie. And it would kind of surprise me that because I did not know he could sing at that octave like that, like a young Michael could. So I was pretty impressed with that. I was even more impressed also how Michael, when he was about like preteen Michael, like he was around like 9, 10, 11, that range or whatever, and how he was so bratty at the time. Jason Weaver did a good job playing that perception of that role as well too. So salute to that man. Keep getting, the young man at the time, keep getting them checks.
And just like that, Michael Marlon went from light-skinned kids to dark-skinned kids, just like that.
Got some color. Yes, sir.
And this was especially, and now this is around the time of the episode where Joe's kind of going through this weird thing where, again, the kids starting to get a little older. There's some tension between him and Jackie bumpers performance. Um, but I think right, he was doing a different world around this time as well, so he was kind of he was kind of a big deal at this point, and and of course Jackie's going through again, hey, that teenage phase where you just want to do your own thing, like liking girls, want to be with girls whatsoever. Um, Very intense scene between young Monica Calhoun. I forget she plays Reby, um, where what I'm talking about, right? Where he literally just rushed at her, Joe.
Full speed.
like it was a really weird thing. Now I'm guessing why Joe. I don't really need to know your thoughts on Joe's attitude around this time about the kids getting older, wanting to be away from the family and all that stuff. Like, I'm guessing that he wants, because it's their dream, he wants them to reach their dream, quote unquote, his dream, before they could go off and do their own thing, I guess. Like, I kind of get where Joe's coming from at the same like it was a really weird thing Joe was having, especially with the older kids, about like you said, when Jack is like, I want some freedom. I was like, are you free? You're free. If you go away, you stay away. And all that stuff. And another thing he would have the kids do: take the cinder blocks from one area, put it to another area. Um,
Bro, that happened to me, bro. I hate that shit.
what, the cinder blocks?
Yes, the bricks.
And it was actually I actually kind of like the quote that he had here. He says, "I have you do this because, one, you don't forget where you come from, and two, you can know where you could end up." And I'm like, okay, that's a bar. That's a bar. Uh, um, but how do you feel about this whole situation with Reeby, and Jackie and Joe's erratic attitude about them, particularly more at the older children that are becoming more of their own person, and he's like very like, this family gonna stay together. How do you feel about that part?
Conflicted because I get where Joe was coming from. Excuse me, Joseph. I get where Joseph was coming from in regards to he wants the family to stay together in this trying time because when the group starts making it and it become more famous, he wants the family to be close knit together so nothing can happen to him. Everybody will be under his wing, that he can keep a close eye and monitor on to make sure that everybody's be okay because it's under his direction. And he doesn't want nothing to happen to his family, especially to the older kids, where they feel like they're ready to bounce out the nest or to like start doing things on their own. So I get Joe's point because he wants to protect them and keep them in line so they can reach Joe's, Jackson's, Jackson family's legacy or goals or whatever. So I get that because he wants to look out for the family. At the same time, and I'm just strictly speaking on Reeby's case for the moment. If Reeby wants to move on and then talk about getting married, any of us men have a daughter, and then she talk about she wants to go out and leave the house and go move in or shack in with a dude. If you are a conscious man and your daughter was talking about marrying another dude you don't even know, you're gonna be, one, you don't like dude off the bungee. Two, what kind of corniness my daughter likes to make her want to leave the house and go kick it with you. I don't blame Joe for that. Cause you was just fine a week ago. Now you acting weird with this projected weirdo. I get that. I understand that because I'm not gonna like him either. Just and I would also think it's like a phase where teenagers hit that phase where they want to be independent because it happened with the first three kids, the oldest, and he tried to like have them rationally back down. But I also again feel like it's a sort of jealousy, but Joe does not like having things not in his control. When you talk about kids want to have a mind of their own, start making their own decisions as they get older, they're gonna be doing things that Joe cannot control or would no longer have a say in. Hence why she wasn't supportive of Reby wanting to venture out more and then get married. She wasn't in favor of the guys going head out and dating, especially old boy when he ran away, tried to sneak back in, then ran away, and then tried to come back into the house the next morning because he wanted his freedom. Once he was free, Joe couldn't control him anymore. He was so used to controlling his kids that they grow up, they're gonna have minds of their own. And he's not gonna like that because they're gonna challenge what he is on and they can start calling out the BS that he be on, which we will later see coming from Michael. He's gonna be checking Joe a lot. And he's one of the youngest kids.
Bro, that shit was funny too when he was like, "What's wrong? You came here expecting breakfast?"
That was so close to the Ving Rhames from Baby Boy.
Bro, I ain't gonna hold you up. When Jackie grabbed that cinder block, but I low key thought he was gonna throw it at Joe too. He looked like he was gonna chuck it at him.
I'm about to say I would not believe it because they was too far apart and cinder blocks are heavy. Ain't no way you could have threw it at that range and it hit him. So I'm glad they didn't do that.
Quez, you ain't shit.
What did I say?
Come on, man.
What did I say?
You know camera tricks, Hollywood tricks. They could have made that shit work.
I mean, all the type of movie that was calling dude soft anyway. Like you would think he could throw a cinder block. Exactly. Talk about me.
But no, but I think, and because when Joe's upset at Reby's wedding, um, I kind of took it as okay, she's getting married. You know, like I think she kind of wanted Reby to like again like live a life, you know, like not kind of I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but kind of like do what Joe did, like put his dreams aside to be married, have a family, like he wanted Reby to see the world, like enjoy life. Then she wants to try to get married after that. Okay, cool. I think that's where Josie. See, that's where I'm kind of conflicted with Joe because I'm like, I get it, but I kind of don't. Because you can't force your kids to live a life you want them to live. Like once they reach a certain age, you kind of gotta let them do their own thing. But I get what Joe's perspective. He's like, okay, no, I want my kids to have the best. I want them to have the best, and when they kind of get married and break apart, like I feel like I can't do that now. So you're kind of like it's like he's not in control of the situation.
And when you're not in control, what are you gonna do? You're gonna start lashing out like a tyrant until things go in your favor again. That's why he's making the moves he was making, like kicking out one of his own sons, for example. If he wasn't trying to comply, you out.
Did what my father said and let my mother mold me. That sounds like so much sense now when I think about it. Um,
That's why Michael said, "I wish you was my daddy."
Damn.
You want Billy D. Williams? I mean, no, that's not Billy D. That's the real person. You want Barry Gordy to be your daddy? Like, wait a minute. Like I'm watching this, I'm like, y'all could get Barry Gordy to reprise himself. Y'all couldn't even get him. Y'all got Billy D. Williams to
I
play him,
thought Billy
which
did.
is no, which is
I
no
thought
problem.
Billy did.
Which is no problem.
Oh, I thought
It's
he
no
did
problem.
good.
No, he did really good. But I'm just surprised, like y'all just couldn't get Billy D to do his own. You could not Billy D. You could have got Barry Gordy to do his own role for the movie. You couldn't just got him. You got Billy D. Williams. Okay.
Oh man, yeah. I wish he was my dad. I'm just like, oh shit. Yeah, because like you said, Michael was the only one out of all of them. He had the highest resentment towards Joe. Um,
He could afford that
especially,
because Joe couldn't catch him.
yeah, you're right. Um, one of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite performances is them at the Apollo. Um, um, and one of the few tender moments we have with Michael, when he says, "Yep, you're at the Apollo Theater. This place makes stars," and he kind of hugs Michael, and he's like, "This place makes stars." One of the few tender moments that Joe actually has with Michael. Um, so how do you feel about that performance of the Apollo, which ultimately got them the Motown deal? I thought it was a great performance. And Jason Weaver was killing it, bro. Like Jason Weaver, Jason Weaver was, and a lot of it was him singing. Like it was not backtracking. That was him singing.
Oh, that last Jackson was definitely lip sync.
Like the older Michael.
Yeah.
He was for the Billie Jean performance, but no, that was him singing for the most part.
There was certain parts I caught. It was just more audio than like his voice because I could distinguish it a little bit in between like where he was singing and when he wasn't. It was just like a lot of like audio.
Yeah, but Jason Weaver, a lot of that was not. A lot of that was him. A lot of that was him. All right, wait, you're going on. Just mute your mic, bro. Thank you. But so, all right, nigga. All right, so they kill at the Apollo. They get their record deal.
Yawned.
What?
I yawned again. Yawn. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Okay. They kill out the Apollo. By the way, shout out to Vanessa Williams. By the way, I totally forgot Vanessa Williams was in this film. Another one that's been fine all her life.
She just recently hit 60 too. Happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday, Vanessa Williams. Jesus Christ, bro.
60 years young.
60 years young and still fine. Yeah, of course, they get Billy D. Williams to play Barry Gordy. Not Barry. Yeah, Barry Gordy. They kind of revised it a little bit because Barry Gordy was not there for Jackson's audition, but we all have seen the audition. The famed audition tape that Michael had. And then they finally made the big time. They finally reached California. They now become the Jacks 5. They got the endorsement from Diana Ross, which Michael and Diana Ross, that could be a whole separate video in itself, that whole relationship. Do I think they fucked? Absolutely.
Dang. Wizard of Oz was a long time ago.
What's that?
Wizard of Oz was a long time ago.
Yeah, they were fucking during then too. So they make it. They're the hottest group in the world. Heavy promotion by Motown, and now we get on to the second part of the Jackson story where they're now dealing with it. We get we meet Terrence Howard. Um, we meet Terrence Howard. They touch on the fact that Michael had to lie about his age, because Michael was really 11, but he had to say he was like 8 or 9 years old. Because the mainstream, you're cuter younger than you are older, which was kind of troubling for Michael. Um, and then you got the situation where you're getting more evidence of Joe slowly losing control, of his kids. He can't handle it. His ego can't handle it. Tito with a girl named Dee Dee, Jermaine with Hazel. By the way, I thought the girl played Hazel was so goddamn fine, bro. Her eyes, bro. I remember I think she played a male woman on Fresh Prince of Bel
Oh,
Air.
Fresh Prince, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, damn, she's gorgeous, bro.
I was so mad at Carlton, like, bro, you dropped the ball with her?
That's right.
Bro, she conveniently came to your house every day.
Yeah, but I'm like, you can't be this goddamn dumb. But
but I mean, yeah. You ever heard of if it ain't right, if it ain't white?
Where you going with this?
There you go, Carlton.
Oh well, damn. And then also, and so they're famous now. They're trying to find a way. Catherine's kind of have a hard time dealing with it. She's a whole new environment. Another great scene. Like we said, every scene with Laura Till Jenkins and Angela Bassett is great. Like the scene where she's kind of like you're never home. I'm here by myself. I can't drive. I'm surrounded by all these white people. That was funny how she said that. Like I'm around these white people.
You're saying it in the comfort of your own house, like somebody listening.
She's like, I feel like I don't belong. I'm surrounded by all these white people. Oh, yeah, why are you saying it like that? And then,
hey, bro, nobody told you to be 30-something years old and not get a driver's license. Come on.
Oh, and then Joe gets so visibly frustrated. Like, okay, so you learn to drive. And then Joe was like,
as soon as he offers, she walked it back.
Exactly. Like, oh, God, it's frustrating. Women can be frustrating. And then Joe told him, like, hey, get used to this. Like, this is the life we deserve, the good life. He looks back and looking like a fucking ghoul and shit, going like the good life. And, yeah, I don't know about you, but it kind of feel like to me that the more famous they get, the more emotionally closed off Joe was starting to get towards his kids and Katherine. Do you kind of get that vibe too?
Say that again.
The more famous the kid was starting to get, the more kind of like emotionally closed off he was starting to get between the kids and also Katherine as well.
Yeah, because it became more and more about business with Joe, the more successful they got. There was no more love and a bond that they initially had when they were starting to develop the group, when it was rehearsing, going over choreography steps, singing, the lyrics and stuff like that. And then like when they were first grinding on the first early tours, quote unquote tours they were doing, because at least Joe had that support system in himself and helped his kids get support in order for them to accomplish what they need to do with their gigs. Now that they know what they're doing, Joe ain't got to really like be on the head like that as far as like make sure they get encouragement and they not to show out. It's not an expectation. And the more shows that Joe keeps giving them, the less love they feeling from Joe and the less what I would say. and the less unconditional positive regard Joe could be giving the kids. He's not developed that at all. Just make sure they stay busy, they stay on the road, they stay right in the group, they don't do nothing to ruin the group. We'll keep getting paid, we'll keep getting these new opportunities, record, all that. So it just went completely business at this point for Joe. Bump the family stuff.
And also, like, I'll say this though, at least Joe made sure the Jacksons got their money, unlike New Edition and TLC. I ain't never heard stories about them being ripped off.
Bro, we just literally discussed the scene where they got their skin ripped off due to whoopings.
There you go.
It's past my bedtime. I'm just don't mind that.
Oh shit. So yeah, so like they're now the world famous Jackson 5 now. It deals with kids growing up, Tito being married, Jermaine being serious with his relationship with Hazel. The older Jermaine was annoying the shit out of me. Like, the nigga had asthma all throughout the film. It was annoying the shit out of me. And then like like he was like that all about the film, man.
Sounded like what's his name, Stinky or Plinky from Hey Arnold. That'd be sitting behind hell. I know.
That whole sequence after Barry Gordon from marriage he's like me and Hazel care a lot about each other. We want to be together. I was like, yo, like get this nigga an inhaler or something.
Bro, sounded like Baby D from Next Friday. We got a brand new country coming out next month. It's a bad motherfucker. We bite into it, run into your mouth, glitter.
Oh, Hazel, when I looked out my window, I saw you standing there. I wanted to bust through that window.
Sounded like, and so because he sounded like a fat nigga, that's what won her over.
He did sound like a fat. He sounded like if Michael Jackson was fat, that's what he sounded like. But for when I first saw this, I thought that was Michael Jackson. Like, why the fuck is he playing his brother? But and then it's also weird that Michael's going through this weird phase too about his brothers, getting married, and that was kind of bothering him too. What the fuck was that all about? I never understood that.
Cause he believed what his dad was saying. Like, if they was gonna break out and get married, that was gonna ruin the group. And at that time, Michael was loving the attention he was getting, the shows he was doing. He loved the girls, all that. And he was worried about him losing all that if his brothers go off and get married. He's like, y'all gonna ruin the group. I hate you. And then he ran away. He ran upstairs. How could y'all do this to the family?
I'm like, Michael, sit your little ass down, man. Oh, and also shout out to the character development of Tito. That's another great scene when he actually stands up to Joseph about marrying Dee Dee. That was a really, really strong scene compared to how Tito was in the beginning of the film. To now, that was some good character development there.
And it was organic too.
Yeah, it was. Like, how, because they were building that particular storyline in the film like a good 10, 15 minutes of how Joe couldn't stand Dee Dee, pretty much. And they were building that up until Tito just finally exploded. And then, we get to, them dealing with the groupies that they were dealing with. Me and Quez, there was this one scene with a groupie where this nigga Jermaine ordered, what did he say? Like 2 cheeseburgers, 1 milk.
No, not cheeseburgers. 2 hamburgers.
2 hamburgers, 1 milk, And 2 apple
one ice
pies?
and one iced tea and an apple pie. 2 apple pies. I'm like, first of all, who orders dinner? Who orders dinner and gets a hamburger, not a cheeseburger? You want a hamburger, a burger, no cheese, dude. Then you're a rich celebrity. You can afford the cheese, my dude. And then he
Yeah.
said, I want one milk. You want you want one milk, a milk, nigga?
All right, Quez. All right, Quez. This is coming from a guy that said he wants 1 grape jelly.
First of all,
Like, you can't be mad at Jermaine, bro.
first of all, that is completely different.
How? It's the same thing.
A grape jelly is a condiment.
Oh,
Who do you
God.
know? Who do you know that goes to a restaurant or orders food service and asks for milk? If you're not Kurt Angle, you're not asking for milk. You're not. Tell us 1 milk. You're laughing because you know how ridiculous it is.
That shit was such a random order. It was like, what the fuck are you ordering, bro?
2 hamburgers, 1 milk, 1 iced tea, and an apple pie. No. Wait. Hold on. I got it. You said I want 2 hamburgers, 1 milk, 1 iced tea, and a pie. What kind of pie? Apple pie. 2. Can you make it 2 apple pies? It was the most generic order of all time. Talking about 2 hamburgers, a milk, an iced tea, and a pie. Like, your stomach gonna be hurting, bro. What are you?
Man, I hope you don't have to perform. And he was saying the most corniest shit. He's just like, your lips as soft as rose petals. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You Jermaine Jackson, bro. But that group, that rap was fine, though. But I ain't gonna hold you up, bro. She was fine. And then I love how even Marlon was trolling rose petals.
I still wonder how the heck, if his hands are all the way up by her chest, how can she talk about heat touching all the way back by her ankle?
I don't think that. I'm like, bitch, there's no way you're that dumb.
Bro, you ain't hear her talk. It sounded like she had a screw loose. She was talking about, I wish I could have a hotel myself, room service, order anything I want. Like she sounded like a. Ooh, I can't say that word. She sounded like a.
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
She sounded like a screwed loose gold digger.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. But I would have smashed.
No, bro. And then she was like, when you wrote that song, it sounded like you wrote it for somebody else. You wrote it for Barry's daughter. You wrote it for Hazel.
I thought you was singing it to me.
It's like, bitch, I didn't even know you yet.
That was funny. That was funny. I didn't even know you last night.
Like, she's just so aloof. Like, I thought you was right about me. What is wrong with you? Nobody knew you.
Bro, you know what's crazy? That is a wild ass story. She could tell her friends back home. She could say that she made out with Jermaine Jackson and got felt up by Michael Jackson at the same time.
A nice
story.
Yeah. That'd be a great story to tell at the lunch table. How she served a whole plate of Thought Pockets to the Jackson 5.
Hey, listen.
Thought Pockets.
Hey, bro. Hey, it might be 2023, but yeah, there were hoes back in the 60s and 70s too, bro. I'm just saying.
Jesus.
Skeezers. Yeah, I haven't heard that. Yo, speaking of skeezers, in the very next scene, we get the bitch that killed Kane and Minister Society at the Jackson fan as a part of the fan club. That was crazy. Yo, if I was my mama, she would have knocked the shit out of her and told you how rude she was. Tell me to go home.
That's why she was in the background.
Always.
Just for that tomorrow. I'm not hungry.
And then we get a funny moment just to kind of show how professional the Jacksons are. Them years of working under Joe, always want to get shit perfect. The fact they were able to get the Star Spangled Banner down in 20 minutes was very impressive. Very impressive. And then you have the scene where we get older Michael, played by the late great Wiley Draper. And this is where you say this movie started to lose its flair. Not when Wiley came into the picture, man. Really? Arguably, to this very day, the greatest person to ever play Michael Jackson in a film. The movie dipped off when he came into the picture, though.
Bro, the movie was already pushing past 2 hours. It's like, yo, you can hit the eject button now. Like, we can stop. Let's move on. Let's move on, bro. Let's cut the movie off. It's over. And on top of that, that time jump, they were like,
which one?
The one where it went from Jason Weaver to Wiley Michael Jackson. It went from like, what was it, 1976, 77 to 1983.
Mm-hmm.
It just left 1979 at the corner with Off the Wall. It just left that over there and jumped straight into the Thriller sessions.
It did. Yeah, it did. That's the one thing I do kind of say I would. Even though they did mention Off the Wall, it would have been nice to see.
Briefly, it did, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see, Michael starting to go solo again, because Michael always had a solo career, even when he was with the Jacksons.
And they talked about it and how much it flopped.
Right? Yeah.
I could have told him, like, you have an album called Ben. I could have told him that was a bad idea.
Well, the album, I think it was an Oscar-nominated song, bro.
Still ain't sell shit. That's why they was talking about. That's why they kept talking about, like, when they was alluding to it, leading up to that, to Thriller. It was about, or up to Off the Wall before they switched it. They was considering, when's Michael gonna go back to the Jackson 5? He's already starting to split rumors. He's not doing shows with them like that. He's intermittent. When's he gonna come back? He's doing a solo run, but the solo run ain't hitting, and Jackson 5 music ain't hitting since Michael's starting to become a part-timer on his way out the group. It's like they was touching on that, and they really weren't hitting without each other because they was all solid group as one.
Yeah.
So it was an adjustment period on both acts, Michael solo and Jackson 5 as a group, which Michael being on his way out would not be the only blow that they hit.
Oh, and really quickly, Oblivion just brought up. What was your thoughts on Michael's relationship with Mr. Rat? I don't hold you up, man. I'm just like, look, I get it. It's Michael. If something tells me Michael added that shit in, because I don't think young Michael was like that, but it's a fucking rat. It's a rat, man.
I
That
can
nigga had an
understand.
emotional breakdown over a rat. And shout out to Lord Jacobs. He said, "Oh, we got him good."
That was like the top. That was like top two most savage moment of the film. I was cracking up when he said that. Like salute, but they a bunch of I'm not surprised that his friend is a rat because given the area where they came from, you know, and when Michael was like a reclusive kid, he didn't really have a lot of friends. He had a friend to confide in, a dirty Mr. Rat. And he really called him Mr. Rat. You ain't call him Ratatouille. You ain't call him Ratburn. You ain't call him Ratty McRat Rat. You ain't call him MC Scratch. You just said Mr. Rat. Like, bruh, I'm picking on a name. But then, rats are dirty. Rats leave diseases. Rats are nasty. Rats bite. Nigga, you want a rat? But then again, I was close to the cup that he had. And then that was very triggering when he seen Mr. Rat take that bait. This meant that mousetrap hit that Mr. Rat with the Kali slam. Mm-mm. Rest in peace, Mr. Rat.
What's wrong with this dude, man? He said
Bruh,
the
I'm saying,
Kali. He said the Kali slam.
not bro. That vice grip was real on that rat, dude.
Yo,
That motherfucking mousetrap,
yo.
that motherfucking rat was in that mousetrap like the camel clutch, nigga.
All right, let's move it on. Okay,
Broke its back till it was humbly dead. Rest in peace to the sheep.
let's move on, man. Let's move on, man. So,
That mousetrap broke his back, made him humble.
oh my God. All right, so
That mousetrap was like the Dudley's table, bro.
Let's stop talking about the goddamn rat. All right, so,
Hey,
why,
hey, James, what did the trap say to the rat?
what?
Got your ass.
Oh my goodness, man! All right, so Wiley Draper, which by the way, rest in peace to him, who passed.
Hey, James.
What?
Hey, James. What do they call Takashi when he was telling on his gang?
What do they call Takashi? We've told all his gang Quez.
A rat.
All right, so again, Wiley Draper, to this very day, a lot of people still proclaim as the best person to ever play Michael Jackson on film. Which, by the way, great photo of Jason Weaver and Wiley on the set. By the way, what was crazy?
Wait a minute, he passed?
Yeah, he did.
Oh dang!
Yeah, he passed like literally like a year or two after the movie was dropped due to leukemia. He was a dancer. In fact, he was background dancer for the Remember the Time video. I think Jason Weaver said that Michael specifically, every person that played Michael Jackson up to this point, Michael picked. You know, from Baby Michael to Jason Weaver to Wiley, to play him. And for the longest time, bro, when I was younger, because he looked so much like Michael, I thought that was Michael. Like I thought what really was Michael, bro, because he looked so much like him. And he had the same mannerisms as Michael. He was moved like Michael, still of course we know Michael's nephew was gonna play Michael Jackson in the biopic coming up. But Wiley Draper, in my opinion, is still the best that I've ever seen play Michael on film. We see him dealing with him coming out of teenagehood and turning into a teenager with the acne and all that stuff. And this is where we kind of get to see Michael in his early stages of feeling insecure about his looks, which Michael has notoriously been known for.
I ain't gonna hold you. When he was looking in the mirror, I thought it was the start of that vitiligo stuff. And then he said acne. I'm like, oh, I was about to say.
Well, which we can all relate to. Like, we all had a point in our lives where our skin would break out, especially around that particular time, when you're like 15, 16, when you're just really growing into your looks. And Michael said it like in the like he said that he would go to airports and people would say that he's ugly now, that Michael was ugly, and that shit would affect him, because we all know Michael was very, very insecure about his looks, and that was a really, really rough period in his life. And you get a great scene with Michael and Angela Bassett, Wiley and Angela Bassett, where he describes that all he knows is music. Because he's never had a childhood, never really had an opportunity to really truly live a normal life. All he knows is music. Like, that's literally all he knows. And it's a really, really great, really, really powerful scene between Wiley and Angela Bassett. And then one of the best scenes in the film, I think this was the scene when America first says that, Angela Bassett can act. And see what I'm talking about, Quez. It's the scene when she realized Joe's been cheating on her.
You dirty rat.
Stop it. But credit to both Lawrence Hilton and Angela Bassett how they played the scene. Because Joe thought he was slick. Because Joe, we all know Joe was getting around. He was getting around. Like, you don't think he wasn't getting some action alongside too. But why would they have him call it a house though? Oh man, it was the 80s back then. They didn't really have cell phones back then. But
no caller ID.
No caller ID. Yeah, you're right. So Joe would have a side woman, call the house, and when Katherine would pick up, they would hang up. Joe tried to be all slick, try to have Katherine go to the store get some ice cream so he could call her. And then Katherine picks up the phone on the other line, and that's where we get that iconic moment.
Hold on. Before we get to that, when she went outside, that is a loud ass ringtone for her to hear that all the way from outside, going towards the street to go back in. What ringtone from a rotary is that loud? You can hear all the way from outside.
Right?
How?
But dude, I gotta tell you one thing, bro. If I see my wife walking towards me, looking kind of unstable, where she's laughing in a very maniacal way, like bro, when Angela Bassett, it looks like a scary movie, bro. When she's coming out the darkness and she starts laughing and she's slowly throwing her purse away, I'm like, Joe, run. Like, if I see my girlfriend, she starts doing that, bro, and I know I fucked up, I'm running the fuck out of there. Yeah, but I still say, Quez, this was the moment where America looked at Angela Bassett and said, this woman's going to be something. And keep in mind, this was before What's Love Got to Do with It, all those legendary roles she would later go on to get, where she just unloads on Joe. She's like, you a liar and you a cheat, and I don't want you no more. Like, trust me, Katie. I've never hurt you. I'll never do anything to hurt you. Great performance by Angela Bassett here. It's like like this is her before waiting to exhale. This is her waiting to exhale moment before waiting to exhale. And then Joe's still trying to say, "Baby, I think you caught on somebody else's line." He's still lying, bro.
He trying to save himself, man.
Deny. And then Katherine runs away to her mother's, which they said Katherine has kind of been known to do. She did it recently, like a couple years ago, where Katherine would just disappear and would just go into like a farm that she owns or whatsoever. She would do that sometimes, and then we get another great scene with Katherine and Lawrence Hill Jacobs, where the boys fire Joe as their manager, where he mentions Janet having a TV show. Simeon said that why couldn't Janet have like a little her story be in this? I'm like, bro, I told Simeon, bro, that's a whole movie in itself. There's not enough time, bro. The movie's already long as it is.
We're gonna talk about her singing. We're gonna talk about her singing in the studio before she went to go shoot Different Strokes.
Yeah, like we don't really let's be real. We don't really care about that part in his career. Let's just be honest. And yeah, it's pretty much equated that the family is now, the boys have grown to be really resentful towards Joe, especially after what he did to their mom, who we all know that they worship their mom. By the way, that scene with Randy, where Joe's like, "Get your ass in the car!" Like I said, like Lawrence has had some funny moments in this movie, man. He did. You had that. You had the Black Beatles.
Oh, when they was getting chased by all those girls, like Black Beatles.
He said, "It could be worse. You could not be recognized at all."
It's about, remember when they got that tile out by the pool?
Oh, another great moment. Yes. Who let the tile in the swimming pool?
It was like, "Marlon, Michael, I'm gonna get y'all."
Bro, he knew what time it was. He knew who did it when he left the towel in the swimming pool. He's like, and then that another, go to bed, Joseph. Go to bed. Like I said, like Angela Bassett has been great all her career, bro. All her career. And then you have that, I think it's really the last scene of them together, when, I don't think it's something you really ever want to hear your wife say, when she says, "They still love you, Joe. They still love you." And she said, "What about you, Katie?" And she said, "I don't know, Joe." I'm like, ooh.
How they said, you thought you had a friend.
Oh, that hurt me. That hurt me when she said that. Because listen, all throughout this film, she was by Joe's side. Yes, she's disagreed with how Joe has handled shit, but she's been by Joe's side. This moment, she's like, when you ask your wife, "Do you love me?" She says, "I don't know." Ooh, that stings. That stings. And then, you get to really get to Michael, and we get to the Motown 25 performance. One of the most legendary performances in TV history. We all know the Motown 25, but the performance that really sent Michael out to the stratosphere. A performance is so legendary when they literally take that whole performance and put it into a movie. And get it to Wiley, and I gotta give Wiley Draper credit, bro. He did a damn good job mimicking Michael. Like if you put that performance and the actual performance side by side, he literally sat down and studied that performance, bro. Because it was literally beat for beat perfect. Only thing that was wrong, he had the glove on the wrong hand. That was the only thing. Because Michael had it in his left hand. But it's just a nitpick. It's just a nitpick. Then, of course, covers the Pepsi commercial, which we all know that one was single-handedly changed Michael's life for the worse, you could say. And then you end it off with the Victory Tour with the Performing the Love You Save. And then Michael saying that this tour is a celebration. It's a victory. We've come a long way from 2300 Jackson Street. And he said this is an American dream. But yeah, I could definitely say the first half of the story is better than the second half. Can you agree with that, Quez?
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. But yeah, I think this movie is dope. I love this film. Really, like the biggest things I love in this film is really Lord Tim Jacobs and Angela Bassett's performance in this movie. Like I said, every scene they have together is great. And I said in the beginning of the show, if it was just a movie about those two, I'd be on board with it. If it was just about if the whole movie was just about Joe and Katherine, I would still be intrigued because their chemistry was really great. I thought Wiley Draper as Michael was fan fucking tastic. I could see why Michael personally handpicked him to play his character. Yeah, I thought all the brothers did great. I thought Terrence Howard for what he did, it was really good. Marlon was really good. Tito was really good. I thought the whole thing with Jermaine and the whole conflict of him going, I really didn't care for that storyline. I get it was a big deal at the time, Jermaine leaving. I personally, then they start walking on the beach. I'm like, okay, all right, that would get a little over dramatic now.
When he watched him take that, when they watched him take that flight, and he stayed behind and stayed at a motel.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, listen, I really don't care. Just get some asthma, and get some asthma. Get an inhaler and control that asthma, bro. Listen to what he talks in the film, bro. Like, he wouldn't come to the phone. He wouldn't come to the phone. What's wrong with this nigga?
That's tough.
But yeah, it is tough, man. But there's really not much I can say else I'll say about this film that hasn't already been said. I thought overall it's a great story. It's a great story about family, about having to really work your ass off to get to where you are, how much it could change a person once they get to that level. Before we get to the awards, Quez, your thoughts on that whole second half of the film. I know you said at that point you kind of already checked out, but be serious.
Well, I won't say fully checked out, but it was just like, okay, when's it over? But I will say that I was more invested like the come up of the Jackson 5 group and how they were as kids compared to like as they grow up into like adulthood. Although it was good to see that parallel difference and that shift happen to where Michael goes solo and how that's running. And I like that they mentioned that it wasn't an immediate success at first. They touched on a trial error with his couple of his early solo projects. And then they briefly touched on Off the Wall and how much it made Michael a success and how they were recording tracks to Thriller, like Billie Jean and
Yeah, people
the
thought. I'm
rest.
sorry to cut you off, but people thought Michael couldn't do no better than that. Right? They thought Off the Wall was the best Michael could do.
And it was low key like mentioned that in the film as well. And look what happened with that. It helped him get more notoriety, team back up with his brothers, and perform at Motown 25 when Michael made that ultimatum. I'll perform with my brothers, but I get my own solo set.
This nigga Michael, bro. The only person on that show, and I watched that whole show. He's the only person that want to do an outside Motown solo spot. I'm like, this nigga Michael is crazy.
He knew what he was doing because, like, hey, I support my brothers, but I know what I'm here because I'm promoting me. Like even you mentioned it, like he moved past the Jackson 5. He elevated from the group. And it would make no sense, like fully regress and then single back to the group. Like his time with them was done. It was more time for him. And that's what he made sure he looked out for himself. And that's what Katherine told Michael, don't be afraid of the family. Don't be afraid of us. Look out for what you want to do and chase that. And that's what Michael did. So it was good seeing those kind of moments in the film and how it was the evolution of what Michael was from then to now with that darn rat and how the band of Jackson 5, how they was going to adjust with new label, no longer having Jermaine, them losing their dad as a manager, and how that was going to be working out with them. And they touched on, it's like, yeah, no Michael, who cares? It's like, dang, nobody care about the group no more. So I like how they articulated the struggles between both acts and seeing how they did to try to improve that. And I'm glad of course, they included the Motown 25. And I was surprised that they incorporated that darn Pepsi commercial.
I gotta hold your Quez. Every time I see that shit, bro, I just be like, why, man? Like
Even though it
that
sounded like he
one
was
incident,
singing.
that. Oh,
Even
man.
though,
No,
even
but I'm
though it
just
sounded
saying.
like
No,
he
no,
was singing, we said, "Oh,
no,
my hair."
every time I see that, I'm just like, damn, that one moment changed everything for Michael. Everything.
This dude did the Undertaker before the Undertaker.
This nigga tripping, bro.
Bro, Michael legit caught fire.
You see how he fell down them steps though?
Bro, like head first. He got a concussion every other step that he fell down. It was like a whole roll, not a tumble. He rolled down each step hard. Oh, oh.
Oh, I saw that. I was like, there's no way that happened. Then the real video got released. I'm like, okay, thank God. Because if that nigga rolled down them steps like that, how the fuck is he still alive?
Well, maybe he rolled down steps like that, so hopefully he can get that fire put out. Stop, drop, and roll.
But because you did see the real video, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't know he was on fire until it was too late.
And that was when they heard it, ran up on him with them fire extinguishers. So the second half, not horrible, but I was just more linked in with the first half and like the middle chapter. The end chapter, I was like tired with the movie, but well put performance from what's his name, Wiley, that played Michael Jackson in the third act. I will
Mm-hmm.
give him credit for that. I will give him credit for that. Katherine should have left and stayed gone. I hate the fact that she did go back, but it's whatever. It's only cheating if you're caught. Oh wait, he did get caught. Never mind, I forgot I said that. I still did she stayed, but whatever. I guess she wanted to keep the family together in a dream. Joe wasn't right for cheating or trying to cheat. Um, yeah. Overall, second half or third act. I'll call it third act because it was three Jacksons. The third act was kind of cool-ish. It could have been condensed a little bit, but overall, yeah, nothing too much to complain about the movie or TV series, whatever you want to call it.
Do
Pretty
you
smooth.
do you understand why people call it a classic though?
A little bit.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, because again, I wasn't like I was really born like a year after this, like right along with you. And for what I heard, like they said this movie was a big deal. Like it was a big deal when it was announced. Okay, so let's get into some awards. MVP of the Jackson's American Dream. Who do you feel was the most valuable player of this film?
Joe.
Good choice. Good. So that was gonna be my choice.
So okay, was your choice, but who are you leaning towards now?
Oh man.
So I know it's because I had a sleeper that I was gonna consider going with, but what say you?
You know what? I was gonna go with man. Either Jason or Wiley, honestly.
Oh,
It's an MVP award, man. But I want to give the MVP to both Jason and Wiley, because Wiley, what made his performance so great was because like it literally felt like watching Michael. Like it felt like watching Michael and Jason. It felt like watching young Michael back in the day, and a lot of that was really Jason singing. And Wiley was singing too. Oh God, yeah. I would say I would give it to Wiley as MVP, but honorable mention goes to Jason Weaver. But both, yeah, he would be the. Oh God, I hate this motherfucker now. But Wiley would probably be Michael. Jason would be Scotty.
what a reference. Okay.
All right. Who's your least valuable player? Like, what was the one person that they could completely cut him off, and it wouldn't affect the film? Personally, I kind of had a hard time finding it because I thought everybody played their part great. Everybody played their role what it needed to be.
I said Latoya.
Oh, you know what? Yep, Latoya. Yep, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I thought you said it was difficult.
Again, it kind of shows you, just like in real life, and just like in the movie, Latoya was forgettable. I totally forgot all about Latoya until Quez brought her up.
Bro, even Bubbles was more of an impact in that movie.
Yes, we was sitting there looking out the window. Oh God, yeah, man, fuck, man. Like I swear, Latoya is that one. You would tell Latoya is that one sister that they low key can't stand. Um,
Just bratty.
I'll never forget that one interview when Michael and Latoya was there, and Latoya was talking, and Michael just out of nowhere just said, "Your voice is really annoying."
Bro, that just sounds like a Cena burial promo.
Bro, Michael could throw shade with the best of them, bro. Like Shady Michael is one of the best. Like I remember how shady he could get, bro.
Bro, you see Michael in a "We Are the World" rehearsal, and you heard them white people sing. He just owned them just by side eyeing them with glasses on and just shaking his head. He didn't even say a word, just to let them know how much they suck.
Yo, he hated those, but it got so bad he had to do the song by himself. He had to do her by himself.
Who you taking to the promo battle, Michael Jackson or Prince?
In a promo battle?
Yeah.
I probably have to give the edge to Michael. Prince would rather throw disses than through songs. Michael's more of a talker than Prince.
I don't know, man. Prince was more blunt than Michael. Like Prince didn't have no problem telling you vocally, like in verbal communication, your style sucks. You're a terrible artist. You can't compete.
Yeah, you're right too.
You don't write your own songs. It was just Prince just told you. Prince told you to
right.
your face.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I didn't think about that. Oh, that'd be interesting. A promo battle between Michael Jackson and Prince. That would be interesting.
Like I'll never forget what Nas talked about. Like he wanted to work with Prince. Prince told him, like, "Oh, you want to work with me? Do you own your masters? No. Then you can't work with me." I say he ain't never felt more salty than ever in his life. Because he kept trying to tell about Prince because he didn't own his master. Like Prince just made Nas feel so belittled like that. Just requesting him humbly, "I cannot work with you. You have your masters. No, then you can't work with me."
But you was willing to work with Jay though.
Hey, that was different.
Oh, and remember when Versus was at it? Yo, can you imagine if Michael Prince still alive and they decided to do a Versus, bro?
What you mean? They still can. AI, bro.
Oh, God, I hate, bro. That's just so creepy. It's so creepy to me, bro. That is creepy to me.
Very much so. Very much so. But you're right.
Like, I'll never forget when Timbaland played that whole, that Biggie rapping over Timbaland beat. Like, I thought it was like, oh shit, Timbaland, this like a song that y'all did back in the 90s? Like, no, it's a very current beat. And I was like, oh, that's weird. That's weird.
Yo, I would not have that. No, thank you. I need
No,
that.
I'm good. I'm good on that. No, I ain't playing with the dead like that. No way.
And also, like, if you were asked, like, Michael or Prince would ever do a versus, they would never do that. One, they can't afford one of them, let alone both of them to do it. Two, that would be the type of monkey stuff that Prince would call that and he would never, ever do.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Prince didn't rock with a whole bunch of hood booger type stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, Prince was hella bougie.
Mm-hmm.
And
and that's why.
And Michael, if it wasn't making dollars, it wasn't making sense. So you had to pay for him on that. And on top of all that, it was going to be a show that he was going to be headlining. He is not going to be headlining with Prince. And he's not going to be taking a show set up from two rap producers. Mike ain't doing it. You laughing? I'm being for real.
You're right. But I'm just saying, like, if it did happen, bro, the whole internet was shut down. Like, Instagram would complete shut down, bro.
Guess the world wasn't ready.
It would not be ready for that. And you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad you mentioned Prince because I can go ahead and say it now.
Up segue.
Sunday nights, the second movie that me and Quez will be talking about will be the 1985 classic film by Prince, Purple Rain, a movie that Michael Jackson thought was ass. Michael couldn't stand. He couldn't stand Prince. He could not stand Prince. There was a period where he could not stand him. I know why too. I know why. The second Prince said no to him to do We Are the World, Michael was salty about that ever since. Either that or it was the James Brown commercial when Michael actually pretty much embarrassed Prince on there. Have you ever seen that clip when it was the only time we really see Michael and Prince like performing together?
No.
When it was Prince, James Brown, and Michael Jackson?
I know James Brown and Michael Jackson was at the BET Awards back in like 2004, but I never seen those two together.
No, bro. This was Michael right around Thriller time, bro. It was both him. Michael Trapson did a hilarious video about this, where Michael and Prince were in attendance, and James Brown at a James Brown concert, and they were both crazy about James Brown. And James Brown invited Michael on the stage, and then Michael being Michael was like, I don't know, I'm all right, fine, sure. Then went up there, sang did the moonwalk, and then like, you know how Michael is, like he'll act like he don't want to do shit, but he'll just to prove a point, he'll go out there and dance. Apparently Prince was there, but he didn't want to, he just wanted to be low key. Oh, he just wanted to be like, like, okay, I'm just here. Michael knew that Prince was in the audience, and he was basically telling James Brown to bring Prince on the stage when Prince wasn't ready for it.
Uh-oh.
And then Prince went up there, and you know how Prince is. He didn't want to embarrass James, so he went up there. They gave Prince a guitar that had a broken string.
Oh.
Prince didn't really know what to do. He did his little ow ding, but he tried to walk on. He fell off the stage, bro. But he tried to walk off, and then he literally see him fall off the stage, bro. And they said Michael was back. They laughing his ass off at Prince. They said it got so bad that the rumor is after that, Prince tried to run over Mike and LaToya.
Oh God!
Because Prince felt like Michael embarrassed him up there. All right, so Michael was petty. He was petty when he wanted to be.
That petty was finna be a whole rap beef. This dude Prince was finna do a Suge Knight.
Yes, bro. I'm telling you, Chris. Look up that video, James Brown, Michael Jackson, and Prince, which should be an iconic moment. Like that is crazy. The one and only time Michael Jackson and Prince shared a stage together. Ain't that crazy?
And almost ended in vehicular assault.
Like, I just wow, you got two of the most famous artists And Michael Jackson and Prince, they never did a song together. They never performed together. Damn, that is wild, man. But yeah, Friday will be Purple Rain. Looking forward to seeing Apollonia's fine ass one more time.
Wait. What? You said Friday?
No, Sunday.
I'm about to say, you said Friday. I'm like, hold on, what? No.
I did?
No. Yes.
Oh, yeah, Sunday. Sunday will be Purple Rain. Like I say, again, get to see Apollonia's. Whew! Man, oh, God. I was crazy about that woman growing up. And then, yeah, like I said, my schedule right now is pretty crazy right now, so I'll keep y'all updated. But yes, you had a double dose of the Primetime Movie Network. You got Final Destination and this. Hopefully, y'all have enjoyed our Jackson American Dream movie review of all-time classic biopic. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's free on YouTube, especially if you're a fan of Michael Jackson and the Jackson family. Definitely take a look at it. Till this very day, the still best story of Michael Jackson told on film. Shout out to Jason Weaver, whole legend out here. Rest in peace to Wally Draper. Shout out to Angela Bassett, proving at this young stage of her career how great she was going to be the rest of her career. And Lauren Tilham Jacobs, who was fantastic as Joe Jackson. Everybody killed it. I recommend it.
Terrence Howard.
And
shout out his first role. And
yes,
he did his thing, knocked his role out the park. His first role, he was a Jackson, brother.
And bro, me and Cuz, we was talking about this early in the show before we went on air. Yo, he was killing them dance steps too. He was killing them steps, bro.
I don't know what's up with y'all Chicago folk. I actually know y'all two steps and y'all can dance.
Well, I mean, we us people in Chicago. I mean, we're known as the steppers. Like it's what we do. Like we dance. Like we dance. Like it's what we do. It's what us Chicago guys do.
Shout out to let's see, who was the standout to this movie?
Jason Weaver's from Chicago.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So he repped what he repped as well too. Shout shoot, what was her name? That was she plays Suzanne.
Vanessa Williams.
Vanessa Williams. Shout out to her, man.
Yeah, she did really good in her part.
Shout out to Holly Robinson.
As Diana Ross, yep.
Yes. Yeah,
Michael was
Jason Weaver knew what he wanted.
He knew what he wanted. He didn't want to let go of that mic.
Give me that mic back. You ain't getting that mic back. My God. Salute to them, man. It was a good story.
Billy D. Williams was great as Berry Gordy.
Shout out to Billy D.
Smooth ass Billy D. Williams. And then yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. Again, shout out to Boys and Men. Big spot to put them in. Fresh off Motown Philly, they're in the Jackson story. Again, as haters, but it was still shout out to them. Even that little acapella thing they're doing in the still of the night. They were killing that. But shout out to Boys and Men, man.
Just imagine if it was New Edition going against the Jackson 5 in that time.
Oh my God. There was that nigga's bro. Yo, I would lose my
James up.
That would be crazy, bro. Bobby Brown fighting Jackie. That would have been wild, bro. New Edition and the Jackson 5. And knowing full well that New Edition got their style from Jackson 5. Oh, that would be crazy. And they would have been young enough to do it at 92, 91. Yeah, they could have done it. Yeah. Damn, Quez, that would have been a great idea.
Who would have won?
We'll see Bobby Brown and Bumper and Bumper? Oh, Bobby, easy. Bobby was a trained boxer, bro. Like, yeah, Bubba couldn't fuck with Bobby. But in the movie, of course, Jack would have to win. But
no, I'm talking about like if those groups went head to head to each other at the show. I'm not talking about like fighting wise.
Oh, Jack Survivor New Edition?
Yeah, like in those stages, like in the infancy stages.
Jackson 5. Michael's the game changer. Michael Jackson's the game changer, bro.
Well, there you go.
Michael would have been the game changer. Like, but yeah, so
That's
we
like,
go ahead.
I see your ABCs, and I'll raise you if it is love.
I raise your if it is a love for I'll be there.
Bro, how you gonna play spade like that?
Okay, I'm just saying, like, I'll be there is a classic, bro. To this very day, Michael himself has said I'll Be There was still his favorite song he's ever recorded. Out of all the songs, he said his favorite song is I'll Be There.
Because that was back when he could still hit that note.
If you should ever find someone, I know he better be good to you. But I listened to that song early this morning. And I'm like, oh, that song still is a banger, bro.
You know what else was a banger?
What?
That damn mousetrap.
Oh my God, bro! Because I hope your kids never get no pet rats as a pet, bro. You're gonna be an evil motherfucker, bro.
No, bro, I'm gonna be acting a fool. Like, you ever watch Bernie Mac? You ever watch Bernie Mac's show, bro?
Of course.
So you remember that episode when he started going to that bootleg Sam's Club? And he started getting all them snacks? And then he put that mousetrap in like a Cracker Jack box or whatever that was, some Cheez-Its, so he could trap them kids.
Damn.
And he trapped Wanda. Oh, wrong mouse.
Fuck, man.
Let y'all reach to my shit. Watch what happened. You ain't gotta tell on me who took this stuff. You gonna be like, yep, gotcha. And I'm gonna let you wear that mousetrap to school, nigga. That's what you get. Stay out my stuff.
Oh shit, man. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed tonight's show. We'll see y'all Sunday for Purple Rain. Have yourselves a great weekend. And yeah, we are out of here, y'all. We are out. Peace.
Y'all be safe, man.